coming to you from beautiful and rainy downtown Boulder, Colorado. Thanks so much for joining us today to go through our next release of our StockRoom application. This is a recorded webinar, so when we are finished, we will post this to our customer support site, and you may view it at your pleasure. So today we want to go through the next release of StockRoom 2.2.0. Show you the new features. A lot of these features were actually driven from our recent user group meeting here in Colorado last month, and we're really excited to have, in fact, everything you see here is customer input. So if you have any questions along the way, you have a little box on your GoToMeeting control panel, and if you want to type your questions in there, we will read the questions and answer them as we go. StockRoom 2.2.0, the first thing that we'd like to show you here is that we have a new look and feel to the login screen. So you'll see when you log in here, the color has changed. You'll also see here it looks a little bit different when you go to the logout screen. And what that is, that's a required change that we've made. And what is going to happen when you or your customers download this new version from the App Store, you will be required and forced to relog. Now that may cause you some issues from some of your customers if they don't remember their login and password. So just remember, you can go into the user portal and deal with any of those issues. And remember, when you do reset your password in the portal now, you have the blind copy when you reset that password link. And also, we also have a new look and feel. You'll see this slide out bar on StockRoom. So if I click on here and I'm down in history and I'm down in an actual order, at any point when you're in the app, if you just slide your finger from right to left, you can get back to this home screen. So if you just want to jump specifically from one area of the app to another, if I want to come over here to products, you can just use the slide out bar at any point to navigate through the StockRoom application. Also, based on feedback, we have some really great functionality and detail that we've added down at the product detail level. So I'm going to come down here to a product, and what you'll see now, in addition to the information that we were previously displaying, the description, the internal Eclipse ID, the UPC and catalog number, if there's a cell pack quantity, a quantity on order, pricing and availability, which you can turn on or off for your customers. We've also now added the last count and the last ordered on the product detail screen. The last count is going to be displayed when you're in stock levels mode, showing the last count that you did in the quantity. So in this case, we counted 10 on May the 6th at 7:39 a.m. And then the last ordered is showing what was actually ordered. And this will only display, both of these will only display if you are connected to Eclipse. And the last orders is showing you if it's actually been invoiced. So if I ordered something through StockRoom, when it goes into an invoice status, that will then appear here. So this is an invoiced amount. I have a question already, so I'm going to just stop and read that question. For the last count, what does that show when they're using usage mode?
I don't think it currently will show anything. So the last count is going to be anytime we record the count in the customer part number screen, which is really just in a stock levels mode.
Right. So in the usage mode, it would show the last ordered based on.
It would still show last ordered, but I don't think the last count would be filled in. But we can check for that.
Yeah, we'll check. And thank you for that hard question, Tammy. The other really great thing you'll see now directly based on feedback from our conference was to add the product count history. And you'll see now that we have a new icon here. And within that icon, when I click on that, you'll now see that we're showing you the product history. So it's going to show you the order history, which is going to show you the date, the sales order number, and the quantity that was ordered. It's going to show you if you did a cycle count, and again, the date and the time and the amount that was counted for that product. And in stock levels mode, it will show you the sales order, it will show you the count, and it will show you what was ordered. So in this example, we counted 10, which was below the max of 15, so it's ordering 15 to get back to the max of 25. We also have a report that we created that's accessible through eTerm. novo.dvr.replan.history. And this will allow you to run a report in Eclipse to actually see this information. And there is a control file. We're going to get to that here in a minute, but I'll just mention there is a control file. We default this to showing the last 4 transactions, but you can certainly show more transactions if you want, and we'll cover that here in a second when we get to the control file. The other thing that we've added is when you're creating an order, when you're entering a product, when that product comes up now, you're going to see additional information. So this product here, and actually let me just come back because I have a better product here that actually has a cell pack quantity. There we go. So if you're connected, we're going to show price and availability if you have pricing and availability turned on to display. We're going to show you the last count and the last order amount, as well as we're going to show you if there's a cell pack quantity associated with the product. So just more information. And again, this information is only going to display if you're connected because we're pulling this directly from Eclipse. I'm going to add that product. Also, we have some new features in the checkout process. So I'm now going to come here and I'm going to check out. And the first thing that we have required date. So now if I tap on here and you want to change the required date, you now have the option that you can change the required date. You'll also see here, this is the PO field. If I click on the PO field, we now support validated purchase orders during the checkout. So if you want to validate, there's the list of my valid POs, and I can select that. And you'll also see here that where this normally would say purchase order number and release number, you now at the customer level have from our user-defined screens, have the ability to put in whatever verbiage you want. So we had a lot of customers that were managing trailers and clamshells and said, we want this to say something different than PO number or release number. So now whatever you set at the user-defined level, that will display in the app. The other thing we added is we had a number of customers saying that they wanted to be able to scan in a PO. A lot of their customers, when they were managing their cribs, had certain PO numbers. So you also now, if you tap up here in the PO field, you can scan in a purchase order. And you'll also notice now when I go to exit the order, it no longer says complete, it now says submit. And this came back from our user conference. A lot of people felt that we could streamline this process with fewer keystrokes. So now when you're ready to submit the order, when you hit submit, if you're connected, yes, you have to be connected to do this. But if you're connected and I hit submit, it's now going to say, do you want to submit the order now or later? So we removed the save functionality. So if I say later, what it's going to do is it's going to save that order. It's going to check it so I can, if I wasn't connected, I would be able to still use the process that you're used to today with this little checkout. But if I am connected, at this point, I can just hit submit and I can say now, and it's going to submit the order right from here, and then it's going to take me right into the history of the order so I can see that the order was created in Eclipse. I can see my products, any messages, and then when I hit done, it brings me back to the screen where I can create the next new order. And again, that was just feedback from a number of our users as they kind of walked through and trying to find a way to streamline this process. And I have a question. Oh, I don't. I have a thank you for the submit button. Well, Pam, since you were there and you were part of the group that was giving us the input, thank you for the great idea. All right. We call this kind of a bug fix, but it also was designed to clear up a lot of challenges that people were having when they were submitting customer part numbers and changes, on the device and back in Eclipse. So now we will always ensure that everything will be in sync with Eclipse. So anything that you change in the device, we will first write that and update that in Eclipse. So if you change a customer part number, we're going to save that up to the customer-specific part numbers in Eclipse, and then we'll pull everything back down to the device. So it'll always go up to Eclipse. Eclipse will be boss, and then that will pull down to the device. So it will always be in line with Eclipse. And in previous versions, if you weren't aware, we didn't always pull the changes down from Eclipse, and some people got things out of whack, and it was causing them some challenges. The other thing is we removed the product tab when you're searching for a product. So when I come out here, into search, and if I come out here and I search for something, oh, great, I let me just hit search all. You see here the customer part number and the product. We've removed the product number if the customer is set to not be able to download the product file. So in the user-defined tab, if you said to the customer that they do not have access to your product file, this product tab will not display. And that was just kind of a cleanup feature. Talking about the control files, you'll see here that we've added in the user-defined screens. You'll now see here the StockRoom customer PO label, and that's where you can type in whatever label that you want to display, when you're doing the submit button. So, when I come out here now, whatever I type in this StockRoom customer PO label will display here. Whatever I type in the StockRoom release number label will display here. And you'll also see another control file that says StockRoom remote discount. And so let's just talk about what that means. So in Eclipse, if you want to apply a discount for StockRoom, there's a field called, or a control file called remote order entry discount applicable order types. Now, this by default is a blank control file. And once you put something in there, it's going to apply it to you're going to have to, identify everything that you want it to apply. So once you say put RDC in here for remote data collection, which is StockRoom, if you have discounts that you have on web order entry or on EDI or anything else or on OE Touch, you'll need to put them all in here. So this is an all or nothing. So once you put one thing in here, you have to address everything that you're going to have a discount for. So in this case, I've got web order entry, I've got RDC, I've got my mobile OE Touch product in here. So that sets it globally, which means once you set this, it's going to be global for all of your products. So what of all of your customers. So what we've done is you may not want this to be global for all StockRoom users.
And what, can I just jump in
Sure.
for a sec? So what that means is that, so in this control file, if you put in RDC, because by default, StockRoom orders or RDC orders do not get a discount applied. If you put RDC into this control file, that means that any StockRoom order will get a discount if your customer already has that WOA discount percent set up on the customer remote screen. So a lot of people don't necessarily want their StockRoom orders to have a discount. So what you'd want to do in that case, if you want some to have a discount, is that you would set that control file, Innovo StockRoom override default remote discount percent to 0. You would set that to yes. And then on our user-defined screen that we showed you in the previous slide, you would set a discount just for the StockRoom customers you want to have a discount applied on. So hopefully that makes sense. We also have a tech tip on this on our support site. But so up until this point, StockRoom orders did not get a discount percent applied. So, but once you put RDC into that control file, they will all get a discount applied if your customer already has a discount set up for WOA. And that's why you'd want to set the control file to turn it to 0 by default and then set the individual customers.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So a couple of other things. Previously, or in the current version that you have now that's in the App Store, if you come out to Settings, under General, there's a setting that you'll see that's called Innovo StockRoom Consignment Order Type. And this was created for one customer who basically wanted, through creating orders, through using orders mode in StockRoom, to either create a consignment billing or to create a consignment transfer. And to date, I only know of one customer that was using it. And
for transfer.
For transfer.
By default, orders mode always creates a billing.
Right.
But they wanted it to create a transfer.
So rather than have this confusing setting in the app, we've moved it to a control file in Eclipse. Now, for 99% of our customers who are doing consignment, they're typically doing it in a stock levels mode where they're doing the count, and we're creating the consignment billing, and then they're running the consignment transfer. You do not need to address this control file. It's a very unique customer that was using it.
The only time you would ever have to address it is if you want your orders modes to go to consignment transfers and not to consignment billings. So most of you can just ignore it.
Right. The other thing is I'm just going to come out here to a customer. There's another new control file that you'll see is Innovo StockRoom product history. And the product history defines how many transactions you want to show. So it defaults to show 4 accounts. So you'll see here under stock levels, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to have more than that, you can go in and change it to 10. If you blank it out, Robin told me this morning that it will actually show you everything. So it will keep track then of all of the counts, and it will show you all of the history. But by default, we're showing you 4 counts. We also added to the Innovo StockRoom user to be notified on new or deleted part numbers. It now respects if any changes are made. So if a user goes in and changes the customer part number or the location or the min and max, it will also send a message saying not only was a new customer part number created or deleted, but now what changed for that customer part number. And again, just that based on customer feedback. And on to the next slide. So the other thing that we had a lot of customers ask is could, in addition to the activity trigger that we have today, which sends an email, so when an order is submitted, you have an RDC order entry, and that will send a PDF of the order, to the customer outside sales rep. We had a lot of customers ask us if we could also email a CSV file. So now in activity triggers, you can go in and set for RDC order entry. You'll see another option now that says CSV file. And if you turn that on, what we will send the customer is this right here. So the customer will get an email with this attached CSV file, which when they open it up, it will show the product, the description, their part number, the location, the level, in other words, what they would count it, what the order quantity was, what the unit price is, what the extended price is, and the unit of measure.
And if you do this, this was really created for a StockRoom scenario, or a stock level scenario. So for the particular customer we created this for. So you'll notice on this spreadsheet, there's some items that have a 0 order quantity, meaning that we counted them, but because their level was, not below the min, we did not order it, but we still wanted to report to the customer that it was counted.
Perfect. All right, so let's talk next steps.
So this weekend, most of you will be getting your Eclipse account upgraded, and that just involves, it's an automated upgrade that we do here. It's about 5 minutes. Your apps will be down for about 5 minutes. We usually do this on a Sunday morning. So we'll be upgrading your Eclipse accounts. This release is currently in beta. We're going into beta with another customer today. So by the end of next week, we'll be submitting it to Apple, and they generally take, a week to review and approve it. So it's going to be available for GA, in a few weeks from now.
And then let's talk about our roadmap. So with the help of our users at the conference, we kind of focused in on some critical enhancements that our customers want. And so they'll start with the ability to create credit orders. So we have a lot of customers out there that, they'll take stock out, but then they want the ability to return it. So they want the ability to create a credit order through StockRoom. We have a lot of our Eclipse customers who are now rolling the app out to the end user contractor, and they're using usage mode. And really what the contractor wants to do is they want to create basically a usage order for every job. So they go to job 1, they say, I use these 5 products, and that's job 1. And to create that in order. Then they go to job 2 and they say this is job 2 and these are the 20 products I used. The challenge is you don't want to get 15 or 20 orders coming from that contractor. So what we're going to add the ability is that they can create all of these multiple orders and the associated CSV file, so they'll know what to bill their customers because that's why they're doing it. But then we'll consolidate that all into one order when the order gets placed into your Eclipse system. And we have a question. To my Canadian friend, I just want to say congratulations on the Calgary Flames winning overtime last night. The next one is setting to remove on-hand quantities in usage mode. So when we first developed usage mode, we created the ability where you could store on-hands in the device. For some customers, or your customers, the contractor, it's been confusing. So people wanted the ability to not display those. And in a consignment environment, rather than showing the on-hand quantity, they want to show the consignment quantity. So if I had 100 out on consignment and the customer said they used 10, it would show an on-hand quantity of 90, which would be the consignment amount as it ties back to Eclipse. So I think that'll be really, really helpful for our consignment customers. The ability to reorder customers in this list. So we had a lot of feedback saying I'd like to be able to, resort and how these customers display in this screen right here. Respect the authorized buyer list in salesperson mode. So if you do have an authorized buyer list, that would be accessible through the order entry checkout screen in StockRoom. Display extended pricing and order history. So when I come out here into order history and I click on a bid, we've also had a lot of customers say, on products that they would like to be able to see the extended pricing. Add, delete, and customer part number. So today, when you're adding a new customer part number, what a lot of customers have told us is, I'd like to do it right from here, right from the part number screen. I would like to be able to add, edit, or delete any of the customer part numbers. In other words, manage everything right from the screen. So that's something that we're going to add. We got a lot of feedback that there's a great opportunity for our customers to promote StockRoom to their customers by having it branded. So we will be adding the option that this will be a branded app. So if you want to brand it with your company name and logo, just like OE Touch, you will have the option to do so. And I've got a question here. Have you added the functionality of a user to see the unit of measure default table from the product file?
We have not added that yet. That is actually on the roadmap list. It's just not listed on here. But the ability, so if you have it, you sell it in each box case, the ability to see that unit of measure from the product drop-down screen. Yeah, so
that is on the list.
On the list.
We kind of picked some of the higher level ones for the PowerPoint. And then the last thing that we have just on this list, and we have a lot more, and if you go on our customer support site and you go under the enhancements section, you'll see all of the enhancements that are out there. You can add new enhancements, vote on enhancements. But the other one is a Bluetooth label printing. And that would not only be for setting up a new stockroom environment, but a lot of times when you're out counting, the customer will have knocked off the barcode or it's not readable anymore. So just the ability to print, the product barcode and, put it out there on the product. So that's on our roadmap right now. And then that's what Mike is starting to work on next. So that's the release. As Robin said, we'll be doing the upgrade this weekend, and then this is in beta right now. We have had great success. We've actually had it out here in beta for a few weeks now, and it's gone very, very well. So once we wrap up the beta process, then we will be posting it and communicating when it's available on the App Store.
And we will, and that's a good point, Drew. So we will send out an email to everyone, before we actually release it. Once it's been approved, we'll send out an email to everyone letting you know exactly when it's going to be released. We try to release it on weekends so it doesn't, interfere with the work week. So I'll just hold on here for another minute or two. If anyone has any additional questions, please type them in. And Dave, I just want to say we got your message, and I will let Robin. Yep. So Dave, for OE Touch customers, there was a suggestion. We could add the same option for the labels for PO number and release number to OE Touch as well, and we can totally do that. Yep.
So, any other questions? All right. Well, if you do have any other questions and you think of them after, please just send an email to support@goinnovo.com or to Robin or myself, Robin@goinnovo.com or Drew@goinnovo.com, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you as always for your business, and we look forward to your use of our next release of StockRoom and then to moving on to the future roadmap. And it doesn't look like I have any more questions, so I don't want to waste anyone's time. Thank you so much for your time today, and have a great rest of your day. And this will be recorded and posted to our customer support site later today.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.